Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Mad Capper, and this is another video on Watcher of Realms. This is it. It is I built them so you don't have to. Watcher style, and we're going to kick things off with a very unheralded but very critical champion that most of you probably know, want, and love on your team, but you don't really consider using on your team, and that is the Chaos Lord, the epic Vladov. So let's take a look at Vladov. We'll take a look at how I have him built, and we'll take him into certain areas of the game where I'm using him, and I'll show you why he is so strong, and he just gets stronger the better. Well, I guess either the more you will or the better luck you get. I was actually pretty lucky to get him as very early on, and certainly not through a pay. I've not bought ancient shards. I pulled him from an ancient shard, but my other champions is what makes him so good. We'll talk about that in a minute, but first let's take a look at Vladov, and we'll take a look how I have him built. Here he is, obviously 60 of 60, fully promoted. He is currently an A1, and let's take a look at his his awakening. His awakening, his A1 skill, gives him the enhance, which each basic attack launched has a 10% chance to apply bleed effect to targets. That's very important. Let's take a look at his overall skills here. First off, his his Lord skill, which increases faction allies' basic attributes by 10, and then he increases faction allies' damage based on their lost HP up to 40% at 30% HP. Now, if you know what Chaos does, they love killing themselves. That's how they roll. So this is absolutely in the wheelhouse of Chaos. So being able to add extra damage, not only to him, but of course is a little bit, we have Cerberus, we have Valeria, we have Ardea, we have one more, who we're not going to use for these videos, but definitely in certain areas of arena and stuff, very strong. We have, what's his name? Aatrox, sorry. So we have a team of Chaos that we can put on the field, and this guy's just going to up the ante, and you'll see how comparative that becomes, how important that becomes for his overall damage. So there's Vladov. We have him at 50,000 power. Skilled, we're fully skilled up, as you can see. Now, first, his ultimate, when triggered, converts 16% of his max HP into attack and loses 10% of his current HP per second. Now, that's going to lead into his Lord skill. Perfect. Eliminating a target recovers 10% of HP. The skill lasts for 20 seconds. Now, obviously, with the skill ups, we get a cost down. We get the effect duration increase. We get the HP to attack conversion from 12 to 16. And we get the recovery with kills from 7 to 10%. His A1 is a continuous physical attack. Deals 85% damage to one enemy 2 times with each attack. His damage goes from 75 to 85. And his Awaken one, of course, is where it adds that bleed effect. We'll talk about why that's so important in a second. We also have a 25% chance triggered by attacks, deals 180% AoE damage to up to 5 targets in front of the semicircle area, and applies the bleed effect on the targets. More bleed, the better. Trigger chance is obviously increased by 5, and his damage increased by 30%. He also has an arena cost reduced by 5, which is really strong in the arena, of course. And he has a talent. His talent increases attack speed by 30 for 8 seconds each time after taking damage, and it stacks up to 5 stacks. Sometimes we're going to use this, sometimes we're not. Obviously, against the clan boss, this is going to be a great little add-on for every time he takes hits, but the hits are pretty slow. In the arena, we're not using him as our main tank. Although, you know what, I probably will do a run where I'll try him as a main tank, but we're lending into his Lord skill when we're heading into the arena, and you'll see that. But on top of that, the important thing is his gear and his artifact. Let's talk about his gear. I don't have him in my best gear. I have him in the gear I have, if that makes sense. So we're looking at, if we click on it total, we have 30,000 HP. It's okay to give him extra HP. It's a good secondary to have because of that passive, or sorry, because of his ultimate, which can add percentage attack from his total max HP. So if you have more max HP, the better. If I'm using this guy as kind of a pseudo tank, I can almost do a Wrath type thing where I put him in there, I bolster his HP to 50, 60, as much as I can on top of his attack, and that'll lend good to when you're using his ultimate. But at the end of the day, he is a damage dealer, so we tried to get a good amount of damage deal out of him, and so his attack is 11.5, defense 35.58. Big thing here, he's got a 2-second attack interval. This is the area where I need to work on for my gear. Absolutely, I want this guy even quicker. I want him as many attacks as possible because that's more and more chances to apply bleed, and bleed can be a very powerful debuff, especially against the guild boss. In the boss, the more you can just keep that bleed continuously up, right? But right now it's 2 seconds. and his crit rate at 89, his crit damage at 216. So we don't have him in a terribly crazy good build, but it'll give you a good understanding of how he can be used. And more importantly, this is just his starting point. His potential can only go bigger from there. And his special ability of being that Lord skill is what really puts this guy, in my opinion, over the edge. And we can even enhance that more by the beautiful artifact. That is right. We have his Scarlet Hunt, which deals 22% extra damage to targets inflicted with bleed. He places bleed. He's got his A1 has a 10% chance on each attack, 2 attacks per hit. And we have his passive skill, which has that chance to a 25% chance to put an AoE with bleed effects. So he's got lots of bleed opportunity there. If you don't have, I think it's I don't know, the lizard, I can't remember his name right now because I don't have him. So if you don't have a bleed guy, he's also the guy you can fuse, the epic. I can't believe that I'm blanking on both the names. If you don't have those bleed champions, here's your bleed champion. And this guy can do something that they can't, and that's add to the rest of your team. So where are we going to use them? Let's take them in first to the arena, and I'll show you how I've been using them. Actually, you know what? Let's start with the guild boss. Let's go into the guild boss. By quests, I mean guild boss. And you'll see I've already done one chance today on Nightmare 3. I'm hitting about 11,000, so I can take a look at what my team did there, and that'll be a good baseline. So this is the team I'm currently using. I'm using Arakia to basically bolster my damage from my Piercer, and obviously Silas, the top damage, 43 million. We've got our Centrum, and then we've got 14,836,000 from Valeria. That's an important number to remember. We've got 11 million from Alora, or Alora, is that it? Yeah. Who will come out of the comp. And probably I'll take out Arakia as well. We have some debuffs here and the rest of them. I'm not even using Pyros. I'm just using him to bolster the team. He's actually not being placed. Hollow and Aina. Oh my gosh. There's so many A names not being used. And he's just being used for his Lord skill. So that's kind of where we are. If I was to take him out of the Lord position, she would lose about 1.8 million damage, and that's important to remember. So that's the team I've used. That's my best damage. I did it this morning. Literally my best damage. So can we beat that damage is the question. And how are we going to do that with our boy? Well, we're going to take out the Lord bonus because we don't need it right now. We're instead going to give Vladov the nod to be the Lord leader. And if I can find him here. And we're going to do something cheeky as well. We're going to add Cerberus. And I'll kind of explain what we're doing there. It's a fun little add-on I do, so to speak. And it'll just add a little extra damage. Because he's going to die, but he's going to give us some nice burst damage at the very beginning. So now, there's one other champion I want to bring in. And there's kind of a secondary bonus. We can see whether it works. We know how much damage he did. Now we can bring in Ardea as part of this team to really see how much we can bolster our damage by him being the Lord leader in the guild boss. Keeping in mind, he's boosting all those stats every time they lose health. That's all under his wheelhouse. So, time to set up the team. It's a pretty typical setup for a team using using her. So that's the round we have to go in. So we want to be, oops, sorry. We want to be here. We want to be, we're going to put him in right now just as a temporary. And we can put him, well, we'll wait on him. We'll put her in. We can get you in. We can get our heals in. We can get our debuff in. And then we will put in Alora. So that's the team we put in. We're just going to wait until our Cerberus dies here. So Vladov actually gets a bad start because we're going to be using him just to get that extra cheeky damage at the beginning. So here's how I do this. This is one of those ones I don't have them rotating their speeds very good for their ultimates. So I do have to wait until the shield to pop everyone's ult. But we pop everyone's ult and then we get to town and we do some damage. And this is where you're going to see these Chaos Lords start to lose some health, and that's going to only help their damage more, especially Valeria, who cannot be healed during her ultimate. There we go. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to keep that damage going. You can see that bleed going up all the time. And then once he pops, we're a little bit behind our previous high on damage. I'm going to see if we can catch up. Now I'm going to pop, I think it's Aena's, I don't know, her alt, just to keep those heals up, just in case. You can see what happens is Ardea is very good at trying to kill herself, but that's going to give her so much extra damage. Now we've got the alt going on. We're going to do this again. Of course, we skip Mari because we don't need her alt. We just need her to keep debuffing. That's her goal. That's her whole purpose, is to debuff. So you can see we're doing damage here continuously. We're actually not too bad. We're not too far off. When you consider the difference in skill level between this group and just their overall gear, if I were to steal and put the best gear on, I'd be very excited to see how much damage this team could actually do. But it's keeping pretty good. I will see. If I could get their timings right, I would be able to get an extra round of ults in there, and I think that would really help. But let's pop everyone's ults again. Easy break into the shield. We got room for one more round of ults. Let's see if we can break 9. I'm about 500 damage behind what I normally do. Oops, I popped her ult a little early. That's fine. Very underrated hero, by the way. Healer. Look at it. She just has everyone's heals. She just gets everyone to max as soon as you want it. I know that her thing lasts for about, I think, 24 seconds. So we're going to pop it around 24. And then we're just going to pop the ults as they come up. And then try to just get it. So we did actually break 10,000. That's really good. We're almost, yeah, we're almost exactly where I thought we'd be. About 500 damage less, 500k. That's pretty impressive when you consider I took Spectrum, who had like 17 million damage. So I'm actually really happy with this damage. Let's see what happened. Let's see, most importantly, what Vladov did and to figure it out. So look at the extra damage that Vladov being on the team happened. You went from 14.5, 15 to 17 million. We got 11 million out of Ardea. We got 10 million still out of Alora. But look at Vladov at 9 million. This guy is about 200k or 20k less build power than some of our tops. It's funny enough, Silas took a little bit of a beating there. He didn't quite do as much damage as the last time. Even though he's got the Lord bonus, because she wasn't placed, it almost seems like it doesn't count, which is, I thought you just had to be on the team, but literally the damage is missing there and the damage boost is here. So it's very interesting, but you can see how, yeah, sure, Setram did more damage with much better gear, but Ardea and Vladov only about 2 million off each other. And keep in mind, her damage is boosted by his Lord skill. So without him, she's going to do less damage. She's going to do less damage. We got a little cheeky 1.6 million at the beginning out of Cerberus. We could have had even more damage out of our Vladov without having that first, say, 30 seconds of the fight where we allowed Cerberus to do 1.6. So why don't we add that 1.6 there? And we'll say, you know, he could be at 10.6, 10.7 million, which would be the level of Alora, who is in pretty good gear, pretty strong champion. So very strong, I think, in the guild boss with lots of potential. As I get him better gear, I'm looking forward to seeing where his damage caps out. Obviously, it's not Silas level. Like, that damage is just beyond compare. But it's still there. It's still good. I would, dare I say, great damage in a strong champion that does a lot of work for the team, plus adds to your team's total stats. Now, what next? Well, it's time to take him into the arena, see what he can do there. This is the perfect time. It's single target. This is where he should shine. So let's see if he can in two different, where he's the tank lead, and I might have to change up his gear a little bit for that. And then, of course, where he is not the tank lead, but instead he's going to be the secondary damage dealer. All right, so here we are in the arena. We're going to do a couple, like I said, a couple different builds. I have some interesting different things I want to attempt here, and we're going to see which of them works. But let's take on this team here. This is the team I want to use, and let's start it. That's going to give you the most out of his Lord skill. Again, it's not just about the damage Vladov can do. It's how much his Lord skill, which is a rare Lord to get, how much that Lord skill can add. So the first time, this is the team that I've been using, where I've been starting with her, who also has the reduced arena cost. And then, actually, no. So she can always, if she is always at 30 to 40% health, she's getting that extra damage, which is such a big deal. The key to using her here is she heals herself when she gets below 30%. Don't use her ultimate, because she doesn't heal when she uses her ultimate, and that kills her. So that's not a good thing to have. So we're going to put up, we're going to get him next. And what we're going to do is we're just going to pop an ult here to get a cheeky, nice little extra score there and win the second round as well. These two are just absolutely pumping out the damage right now. We don't win every round. I mean, there's certainly better overall champions. We want to put her there because we want to make sure that as many people are getting that. Now, he's not getting that extra bonus, which is fine. We're going to be fine with that. He's still going to do pretty good damage, I'd say. Now, this is the one we usually lose because this is the one where they always seem to have an ult over us. But we'll pop his ult anyway. And he's just going to do tons of just keep doing damage. The good thing is Ardea, meanwhile, is self-sufficient. Oh, we won that one too. Good. She's pretty self-sufficient. She has an auto ult, so we just let her do her thing. And there you go. Easy win. No offense. It wasn't that easy. I mean, it was... But those three together make it a pretty crazy... easy win, even though we're kind of technically punching up. Just take a look at the stats. Obviously, you see the damage there. You may be looking at this going, we only did 772,000, but he's think how much damage boost he's doing to her. 4.3 million damage in the arena. And that's without her ult. We didn't touch her ult once. Why? Because when she's down and she's tanking, she's at 30% all the time. She's getting that extra 40% damage passive from him. And when we pop our Dolores, then she's getting the inspiration, extra attack. It just makes it so crazy. She's out damaging. Now, she placed her first, of course, but she's out damaging Silas in single target arena. How is that even possible? It's all because of Vladov. Now I'm going to try something a little different. I haven't tried this. This is going to be a dry run. We'll try whatever. We'll go here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take out Dolores. Oh, it hurts my soul. And I'm going to put in Constance. Now, Constance is kind of in a hybrid build that I've used for Artifact, which will also be showing in this video. But we're going to try it here. I've never tried this before. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if he'll die too quickly, but we're going to give it a try. And it might just be too much. Oh, live. Oh, live. No. No, he couldn't live in time. Okay. That's unfortunate. I'm going to try to give him another more HP because my thought is putting Constance with him to keep him alive and allow him to tank, which when she pops her aura and he pops his ultimate will even improve it more. So we're going to give it a try again here. Let's just try to find more HP for him. And meanwhile, we'll boost a guy. Oh, sorry. I wonder if I can just do a good little gear swap with one of my top that might also have good HP. We're using Silas, so we don't want to do that. That's only 2,600, 1,200, 4,500 from Cerberus. And more attack, speed, lost a little bit of crit rate. I like this one might do. Let's try it a try. Just remember that we swapped that. So that's going to put his BP up. I don't know if that's enough, but we'll find out. It looks like we just need to survive like one more attack. So hopefully... maybe that 1 second delay was enough. No! No! She healed! She healed! She healed! Oh, no, 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 no. All right, we got another plan. I'm full of plans. We're going to try something else here. Oh, did it? Okay. I'm going to try something stupid. We're going to try something silly here. We're going to get full bonus here. Full bonus. Let's see if this works. I don't know how well Cerberus can last, but if he can buy me some time. He's actually in the other gear, and he's healing himself, which is awesome. So we can put her down. Oh, no, I'm not going to get to it in time. No! Why will nothing work for me? This is what happens when you try things live. Do I make them just even more tanky? Obviously, the way I was doing it just made more sense. But I'm just trying anything here to... Oh, I wish is there a champion that allows decreased costs off the start? That'd be sweet. Probably there is, and I don't know who it is. I don't think Hollow won't do enough heals to help him. But I need him to be in the tanking position. Okay, let's go back to gear swap. I don't want to necessarily mess with other builds because there's certain things going on there. But what about someone who's got way more health? Like Vortex. We could lose 5,000. What about one of my other healers? Oh, she's actually got very low health. Let's try this. Let's see what happens. So we've given him a ton more health. Let's see what that does to his damage and whether he can tank there. I want to see this if he can tank that initial with Constance there. Once Constance gets on there, she should be able to keep up with the heals. And his ultimate, that extra HP should just go right into damage. Yeah, that's going to be... That might be enough. His damage has certainly suffered. And then if we do this, he can actually... He's going to heal himself, plus she's going to heal him. He doesn't necessarily have the damage, but that's okay. We can lose that first round. We can just catch up with a quick little Silas ult. Remember that when Constance got her ult up, she's not healing. That's important to remember. I mean, we could actually put her here in case he does fall, because that's still going to fall within her. Actually, it's in a better spot. Okay, we're going to use his ult here. We're going to use her ult because it doesn't matter now if she loses health because she's not in the direct fire path, right? So another good win. It's good. Oh, shoot. This is the wrong round. Oh, it didn't go through his click. That's good. We're okay. This is the one that I need to ult. But I need to wait. Just boom. Man, Silas is amazing. So we can get this to work. I don't know if it's efficient. I think I still prefer having prefer having her there, Valeria. But this can work, which is good to know. There's multiple. I don't want to use her thing because I got to keep him alive. Just give us that extra burst. And that should be enough for the win, right? Yep. So You can use him like that. I wouldn't recommend it. I think he pairs better if you have Valeria. Valeria's ability to tank damage through her own self heals. You could see, like we were using Dolores. She's giving like 500 heals. It didn't matter. Just having that thing. But he's still going to be able to be there. You see the amount of extra damage. But you see 2.1 million still. Even in that tank position, he was able to do that. Plus, she was able to do 5.3 this time. 4.2, so he's just boosting that other damage. So even in this scenario, we had a very good thing, and you can see the damage taken. He's a noodle, but Constance was able to keep him alive, obviously with the heals, and we didn't have to hold a place for someone like Vortex for healing, and Constance gave us that inspiration. But Vladov, absolutely top tier in the arena, especially when you have chaos. Now think of anything that you can use. Cerberus, I was using them in the what was it, the AoE, I think it is, and Cerberus's damage is boosted, then Valeria's damage is boosted, and Vladov just is a straight up killer in all these different scenarios. Really love to see him in this. I think it's really fun that you can have an epic, even though he is a hard to get epic, he's a very strong epic in this ability. I'm going to show one more place that I use him all the time, and for that we're going to go to raids. I'm not going to do a full raid breakdown. I'm going to put out an artifact material raid for stage 18 in the without the power dominance. I'll do that in its own video, but I'll use it with the power dominance just so you can see this is the team we use here. We're just using some lord bonuses for some survivability, but again, Vladov makes it happen. Now, unfortunately, this guy hits a little bit harder than the arena does, so we cannot use him the same way. We can't like put Valeria as the lead here and go in, but we can use our Leorius. I keep calling him Leorius. Regulus. Okay, as soon as we want to see that foot cross, come on, Big Daddy. There you are. Okay, then we're gonna tank it, and actually, sorry, we're gonna put Constant in. Okay, then we're going to put the 2S car. I'm going to go crazy. We're going to put our boy Cerberus in, who's just going to deal obscene amounts of damage. Then we're going to put in Valeria on the other side. And then we get our boy up here. And as soon as they come in, we're going to pop this. We're going to pop all the alts. And we're just going to watch him melt. Again, in this particular case, Vladov is just kind of an assisting role. He's not the key to this one. But again, he's still going to help you with some damage. He's still going to overall help you kill the champion. He didn't put a ton there. But keep in mind that his is just increasing Cerberus and increasing Valeria's damage, and you can see that in here. Obviously, he's not the key to this, but he's an add-on. In this particular case, you can even just bring him in as a lord, and then I use Falcia a lot to drop in that position rather than him. You know, you can use either way, and it's going to work just fine for you. But again, the lord damage, the lord bonus is going to help you out. So overall, that's kind of where I use him. Let's take a look at our final thoughts on this guy and where I think he's what I think of him and where I think he is in the epic world. Being a chaotic lord gives him a very unique proposition that a lot of other champions don't have. He's going to be able to make your team better. Now, how better that is depends. This is the pay-to-win faction. This is the faction you get from ancient summons, which are either very expensive or very slow to achieve. You can see I've had a couple good luck, even though I have not purchased. I do have Ardea, and I do have Valeria, which I pulled Valeria from standard shards, so that's not as crazy of a cheat. But having him when having a couple of other Chaos champions, in my case I have 3. I have actually 3 Cerberuses, 1 from Ancients, 2 from Regular, it just makes a lot of areas of the game that much stronger when you can have that Lord bonus. Now, do I want the Chaotic Lord? What's his name? I don't. He looks cool. Yes. Do I have him? No. So in the meantime, is this a champion that's worth looking at and we're saying, hey, this is good? Well, for me, he has 3 things that make him at or above just about everyone else in this kind of epic world. Number one, having that Lord bonus. But even without that, he also has bleed. So if you don't have, I think it's Salazar, I believe that's the one, then you don't have that bleed. And bleed is such a powerful, it's like 1% of the total HP, great in Guild Boss. I think Nightmare 4 even will be amazing. Whether he can stay alive is another question. But when I start tackling Nightmare 4, we're certainly going to start it with him. This is the, oh, he looks cool too. Oh, he's not even a king. It's just him. Just gone. He's been gone so long. The other thing, I'm sorry. The other thing that makes him so powerful as a lord is that this lord is arguably the hardest lord in the game to get. I guess the Supreme Arbiter lord would be in the same world. But unless you're spending a lot of money and pulling a lot of shards, the opportunity for you to get a +1, 2, 3 Awakening 5 of Vladov is insurmountably higher than even getting a +1 or even pulling a Gon altogether. So if you have a couple of good, like if you have Ardea because she was on the banner, you have Valeria because she can be pulled, Cerberus can be pulled from regular shards, even our guy Aatrox here, who's actually really strong, he's going to be built too. TLDR, we're going to put him into one of these videos. He's just that much more important to you because it's hard to get lords, and especially in this faction. And if you have one or two of these champions, you're going to start wanting to use that. But in his own right, he also has a really strong kit, and it's a kit that does a lot of good damage. He's got a continuous attack. He's got bleed with an A1. Absolutely a champion that I think you should use one of those generic awakenings for, the epic ones. This is the guy. This is where you use it to get that 10% bleed. Has a 20% to 25% on the bleeds on an AoE. Has a reduced arena cost and the Lord skill. Overall, just a great champion to have. A great fighter who does immense amounts of damage and boosts your team. Altogether, I think this guy is on the A list. Do I call him an S tier? I would say it's probably a conditional S tier. I would say he's an S tier if you have chaotic champions, and maybe you're a dolphin. Maybe you've got a few chaotic champions, but you haven't gone full gone, so you don't have the lord of this. If you have the lord, the legendary lord of chaotic, this guy's probably A tier. If you don't, this guy's an automatic S tier if you have chaos champions. If you don't have chaos champions, or you don't have enough that it makes sense to bring a lord of chaos as part of that team, then he probably drops down to A. But because he has bleed, because he hits really hard, he can amp his damage as he takes damage. He's still a very strong champion in arena with the reduced arena cost, and of course in the clan boss where he can do some absolute terror level damage. So those are my thoughts on him. What do you think? How do you like him? Do you have Vladov? Did you kind of always know he was going to be decent? Or do you think, he's kind of a pass? Let me know in the comments down below. But this is the very first of them. Part of me wants to change the name from I Built Them so you don't have to, because in this particular case, most of the epics that we're going to be featuring, at the beginning at least, will be buildable epics. There's a lot fewer epics in this game. But you know what? If the name sticks, you got to go with it. So that's the name. We're keeping it. So that's what it is. But thank you for watching. Any comments? What is the next epic you want to see? I'll ruin it for you. I'll give you a hint. It's going to be I or AI. She is the next one we are going to do a video like this on. So I'm really looking forward to that. But there are so many more epics to go. Do we need to do Idril? Probably not. Maul, maybe not. Hollow and some of those, probably not. You kind of know these ones. But do we need to talk about Amani? Obviously, like I said, I have got her as a 5-star awakened, and we've got her actually fully skilled up now. So I just need to level her when we can get some more food, and we're good to go. But there are so many more epics in the game. Do you want to see Scorch? Do you want to see Isolde? By the way, it's Isolde, not Isolde. Tristram and Isolde. It's like one of the most famous love stories in the history. It's like a Greek tragedy. How do you not know? Nah, I'm just kidding. Hey, it's okay. I watch Ivy and Fastidious every day, and every time they talk about Isolde, I hurt a bit inside, but I still love them both. Isolde is, do we want to see a video on her? Let me know in the comments down below. Which of these champions, Soleil, Maiden, Iona, which of these champions would you like to see a guide on? Dear God, Brunor even. Let me know in the comments down below, and we'll work on building them out. and getting a guide out for them like this one. I look forward to your comments and your opinions, so please let them know down below. Most importantly, please like it, subscribe it. It means so much to me, especially building a new channel out, trying to get it monetized so that I can put more funds into this game and bring you more content. It would mean the world to me if you could get some, just watch time, subscriptions, and your comments would be wonderful. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you. Please be kind, be safe, and we'll see you in the next video.